Hello and welcome to A Slice of Pie, the weekly news show that I completely missed yet last week. But there was a good reason. The reason was, well, we really didn't have so much to talk about. Like, I personally was in the middle of an 8-day work week, so that was like day 4, and it was, God, working 8 days straight sucks so much. I can understand working 5, I can even understand working 6 days, but like a full 8 days, I was so dead at the end of that. Like, I had like no energy whatsoever. So essentially it was a combination of that and then not having enough stuff to really talk about. Like, I was writing the script for it and I'm like, I'm recording this video to just record this video. That being said, any of the news that was happening last week is actually in this video, so yeah, let's just kind of jump into it. Starting with some of the most interesting news to come out of this channel in a while. Remember how I said I was going to try some new things? Well, I have tried some new things. Officially, I have a Twitch channel. I've had it for a while. It's Wolfy546 Twitch. At twitch.tv, I think is the whole URL, but I digress. Just look up Wolfy546 Twitch. This is my personal Twitch channel. It's not actually the GreaterThanPie Twitch channel. I never created that because I didn't intend for my Twitch to be a place for GreaterThanPie's like group content. It's more for my personal junk. And recently, I got back into the card game Yu-Gi-Oh! It was a combination of friends watching the anime and like buying a couple packs and realizing that I'm a total addict for this type of thing. So I have been playing the card game a little bit here and there, learning the new rules and trying to build up new decks. I left the game around the Synchro era, and coming back into the Link era has been confusing. And I'm actually working on a video where I'm going to try to get as many of the old Yu-Gi-Oh players to understand the new rules, because it is different, is a new kind of game altogether, and honestly it's not terrible. It's a lot more strategic than it used to be. So yeah, that's a thing. But what I was doing on my Twitch is I actually unboxed 2 different booster boxes. These have 24 cards each, so 68 card packs. The results are literally on the desk. That's why there's Yu-Gi-Oh cards here. There's like, this is just a stack of monster cards that I got. So I unpacked a lot on my Twitch. The stream that's saved is actually just the second box. The first box, unfortunately, I didn't save the stream because I didn't have the setting on. But if you're interested in that type of content, it's on my Twitch. And that's where most of it's going to live. I'm gonna do like higher production edited stuff here, but it's like gonna be a side note. As where we're still gonna be very much tech focused, gaming focused on this channel. That being said though, there is going to be a stream type on my Twitch that's going to be very, very different. And that is, I'm going to be making a game live on the Twitch chat, like in Twitch. So I'm going to be recording myself making a game on Twitch. Very different, for me at least. I have never really programmed and talked about what I was doing while I'm programming, so yeah, it's going to be really interesting. If you want to catch that, that will be there. Now, streaming on YouTube, I haven't quite figured out how to do them both at the same time. I mean, it's probably possible. I know people do it. I think they use XSplit or something like that. Another solution would actually just be 2 computers, and you can bypass like the monthly thing for XSplit. But we're not gonna focus on doing that right now. So that's what I've been working on. I also have new art that I'm working on. I've been doing a lot with art lately. Tonight I plan on working on both my existing video game that I'm working on behind the scenes that I don't want anybody to see till it's done, and I'm going to be working on some new channel art because my background has been there forever. So I'm going to try to redraw my character in a new art style, one that I haven't done before. So that's gonna be interesting. But so all that stuff is happening relatively soon. I do have some videos that I'm planning out, as I said, the one teaching players how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. And then also for my Twitch, I need to somehow figure out how to use better cameras than the webcam I've got, or use better lighting, because currently the lighting issues are rampant and the colors are so off. So yeah, everything I'm personally going to be working on this weekend. Let's go into the game news. Alright, game news. So last week we actually got a new Switch announcement. It's the Switch with a bigger battery. Yeah! That being said, this isn't the Switch Pro as I called 2 weeks prior, and this is really just kind of an update on the Switch. It is going to extend the battery life by a significant margin, so if you are having problems with your battery, it might be a worthwhile upgrade. That being said, there is no new name. You have to pretty much check the model number of the Switch that you buy, and unfortunately, if you're buying online or buying in store, you may never know which one you're actually going to get, especially because in store, they're all locked behind cases, and online, they don't have to list the model number. We're getting Monkey Ball! Oh my god, like, it's been forever. It's actually a remake of Banana Blitz, which was the Wii exclusive version of, Banana Blitz. It was a Wii exclusive game with tilt controls coming back to PC, Switch, and I think PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I actually get it on the PC because I do like Monkey Ball. I don't know, it's one of those game series that I kind of miss a little bit, you know? It was a weird game. Very weird game with a lot of weird mini games. But Banana Blitz did have a lot of tilt control based mini games. It still had some of the better ones, but still, yeah. Fix it, Sega. Granted, you're Sega, so you could do so much wrong. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion has a release date now. It's Halloween. Literally, Halloween. So essentially you can go to the midnight launch of Luigi's Mansion and then start trick-or-treating immediately. Don't do that. You will get no candy and people will be very mad with you. Because that'd be 1 a.m. on Halloween. You know what, just stay inside and play Luigi's Mansion. Oh yeah. Doom 1, 2, and 3 are coming to the Nintendo Switch at PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. That being said, all 3 versions will require you to log into BethesdaNet, which is a huge downside as BethesdaNet's kind of just another account that you have to have running. Even worse though is the fact that they delisted the Xbox One backwards compatibility version, and now even if you owned the old version, you have to buy the new version unless you use a workaround to get around it. It's just generally kind of sucky news all around. Cyberpunk had another bit of controversy. At this point, I think they're mining for controversy to kind of drum up publicity, even though they really don't need it. Apparently, there's going to be religions in the game, and the original translation wasn't very good, and it was like, it made it sound like you might actually have to fight a religious faction. That's not present. CD Projekt Red has focused on making a real world where religion is a factor. It's a version of our world. It's going to be sort of a mirror into our own realities. That's honestly a much better answer than what Google Translate got, but at the same time, I don't really care. We fought crazy religious people in the most recent Far Cry game. The Assassin's Creed games, you're fighting the Templars like 90% of the time. Like, honestly, religion in video games to me has never been a sticking point, so I don't know where the controversy comes from. Granted, they also had the controversy of having a trans woman in the game being idolized as a sex figure, but at the same time, even though I'm not part of any of those groups who was offended by it, I was like, yeah, you go, future society, be more accepting than we are. I don't know, nothing about this game has actually really bugged me. Like, it's been a long time since we had the female shepherd controversy. So really, like, it's weird. I remember that one being like such a big thing, like people getting all angry about it, and I was just like, cool, female shepherd. And then now we've got, you know, female samurai and everything, and then we've also now got like transgender, and we've got non-binary versions, and I'm like, you know what? Acceptance. Just, there we go. I may not be a member of these communities, but I know people in them, and they are cool with the fact that CD Projekt Red is actually trying to get them right. And I think the people who are outraged are people who generally are outraged to be outraged. Essentially, they're people who are acting on behalf of someone, even though they are not that. So it really is just what is the word? A symptom of the problem, not the actual problem. Not quite. Either way, that was Wolfy's Real Talk. Splatoon 3 isn't in active development, and this has actually kind of torn a bit of a hole in the Splatoon community. I personally am on the Splatoon 2 Reddit, or the Splatoon Reddit, and people are afraid that Splatoon 3 isn't going to happen. It's a very real fear, but to those people, I'd like to inform them that active development doesn't necessarily start until a game is already technically in alpha. You see, the term active development is a very specific window. Essentially, like, we'll use some prop here. Yeah, this notebook. Say I wrote a game in this notebook. I wrote a story and a concept to a game. That game is not in active development. Say I program the mechanics and create some test characters. Still not active development. It's only until I take my prototype to a company, so this case would be Nintendo, and I say, Nintendo, this is my concept, this is what we're going to do, can I get a team for it? And then, once you have that team assembled and you guys start work on it, then it's in active development. So Splatoon 3 is probably already being thought about by Nintendo and the people involved, and it will most likely happen. It's just not currently being developed, and that makes perfect sense. Splatoon 2 is the Switch's version of Splatoon. Every Nintendo game has pretty much always had an iteration on each console, and I think Splatoon's just going to be one of those iterative franchises, much like Mario Kart. Mario Party, for some reason, has like 3 per console, but still. Mario Kart's a good example of a game that only is released once per console, and we might get 2 for the Switch because it got the Wii U's version, or we might not. We never know. And we're gonna go into the tech news because I just got like real for a second, so let's just jump into it. Amazon made an oopsie. They sold beer at $2.50. It was a 48 pack of beer that they sold for $2.48 for only a couple minutes until it quickly sold out. Amazon delisted it and removed the price. That being said, some people did actually try to go into retailers and try to price match that insane price on Amazon. That being said, that oopsie didn't work very well in most cases. There were a couple of instances of Target's and Walmart's price matching it, but they were select and far in between. And once those stores caught wind of the mistake, they actually very quickly made action against it. AMD might have a new GPU coming out soon. There was a GPU listed recently, I think it was in a Geekbench, that wasn't any of the ones that we know about. Now this could be a new Vega card, or it could be the much anticipated RX 5800 series. And I honestly do think that that's probably the case, as Vegas have supposedly stopped development, like active development, meaning they're not making any more. Alright, and then finally, our final story of the afternoon. Nvidia released the RTX 2080 Super Edition. Should I do like super? Genu Force? I'm too easy to distract. The RTX Super 2080 Ti Founders Edition Final Form Ultimate is not really that good. We saw a pretty significant increase between every other supercard and their base counterpart, but the 2080 would have been at the 2080 Ti's level of performance, and because Nvidia said they don't have a 2080 Super Ti, that means that the 2080, if it stepped on that territory, would become a much better value proposition, and they could not sell their $1,000 graphics card. So Nvidia opted for a much lower improvement boost between the Super and the 2080. And that has led to a lot of lukewarm reaction to the 2080 Ti. It's still good, it's still powerful, but it's not all that exciting at its current power to price performance. And if you're building with a 2080, you might as well build with one because it's the same price, or you can get a normal 2080 for less now, or you could just wait and wait till something better comes out, because realistically the difference between a 1080, 2080, 2080 Ti and a 1080 Ti are like if you have a 1080 Ti, don't even worry about the 2080 or the 2080 Super. I would wait until like the 3 or whatever they're gonna call it, 2180 Ti or whatever they're gonna call it. Either way, it really wasn't that exciting, and even the notorious Nvidia shills weren't excited for it. So, alright, and that's our show. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, you can leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I do these videos once a week most of the time, unless there's outside circumstances. So, thank you guys again. Wolfy.